What's up, cannabis connoisseurs? You're watching Backdoor Marketing with Jessica, and I'm your host, Jessica. Today we have Alan Hoskins. He is the owner and founder of Raw Flower Brands. So thank you so much for being here, Alan.
Thank you for having me.
Truly, really appreciate it. So first and foremost, can you tell me a little bit about the brand itself? What is Raw?
Absolutely. So Ra, first of all, is the sun god, the Egyptian sun god.
And I'm going to ask you to raise your voice just a little bit because we've got a little bit of a party going on in the background.
Absolutely. So Ra is the Egyptian sun god. We only use sun-grown cannabis in our product, so the name is fitting. But yeah, we're a California brand, and we currently sell raw flower capsules, THC capsules, and we just launched the first all-flower infused gummy, bud gummies. So super excited about that.
So what is the benefit of having an all-flower opposed to full plant?
Well, so we're not just a brand, we actually have patented IP. Instead of extracting like most manufacturers do, and they get an oil or an isolate, otherwise known as distillate, we actually activate the genetic and then we powderize the flower. So
the gummy actually contains the entire flower.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so you're actually getting the ability to experience those different genetics. So whatever we infuse, you're going to experience that different high.
So tell us about the different highs that Raw sort of manufactures.
Absolutely. So currently we have Moon Drops, that's our indica dominant strain, and we also have Lemon Jack, which is our sativa dominant strain. But the cool thing we're doing is we're taking different strains and powder blending them and looking at terpene profiles and creating super blends that have 20 to 30 different terpenes.
How cool. So what's your favorite blend that you've made so far?
Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot here. I would say the Sour Patch, which is also a sativa dominant cultivar, and the Lemon Jack combined, because you kind of get the sweetness of the Sour Patch and the lemoniness of the Lemon Jack in the actual gummy. How
neat. So, okay, if you want to create, let's say, a flavor profile, do you focus on the flavor profile? Do you focus on the effects of the terpenes? How do you sort of aim your...
For us, it's all about the experience. I think giving the end consumer the best possible experience. I wouldn't say we're experts in making the world's greatest tasting gummy, but we'll give you the best possible experience.
That's more important than anything.
100%. That's why we're taking these products, for the experience, not to eat a super yummy gummy.
Right. Nobody drinks vodka for the flavor. You know what I mean? Things
Absolutely.
There are agendas, guys. Agendas.
Absolutely.
So how long have you actually been in the cannabis market?
So I started in the late 90s in Ogden, Utah, of all places, where I was born and raised. So yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. That kind of dates me, I guess.
No, I mean, shit. I'm not even going to start dating myself, but look, that's, okay, so that's interesting. So what did you start back in Utah?
Yeah, so I was doing butane extraction, which is kind of ironic because I go from the worst possible extraction method to the purest organic method.
Because you were 20.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, we were doing butane extraction in a friend's garage and making products. I mean, I was fascinated with cannabis in my early 20s. So, and here I am now.
So what were the steps that you took between butane extraction and where you're at now? What do you think, let's say, the 3 major steps that got you over the next hurdle?
I think that probably the 3 major steps for me was the biggest step, education. Educating myself about the plant and understanding that there's more than just THC or CBD. There's other molecules, there's terpenes, there's flavonoids, there's fatty acids, there's chlorophyll in the plant. There's all these wonderful things that when you start taking them away, it takes away from the efficacy or from the experience that the end consumer gets. So I would say that's number one. That actually drove me to pursue a non-extracted method to preserve the genetic profile. And then 3, action. I think having good people around me that have supported me and helped make it possible. I have a great team of friends and family, and so I think those 3 have really put me where I'm at today.
And instead, so let's go back to the point you made, because I think that's actually an interesting point. You said that instead of essentially manipulating the genetic profile, you're sort of, as by using the whole plant, you're appreciating the entire genetic profile instead of tweaking it.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at the pharmaceutical industry, that's what they do. That's a compound-based industry. So when you start seeing people using isolate or just distillate, those are compounds, you know? And so they're taking pieces away and putting what they want in products versus giving the end consumer the actual cannabis plant that's green. I mean, if you look at the plant versus what's extracted, and you have a white powder or this, you know, distillate looking stuff, that's not the plant.
Right. It almost reminds me of like apple juice. You know, you take the apple and it has all of these amazing vitamins and fiber and benefits to it, and it's great for your teeth and everything else. You juice it, and then you add sugar to it and water and call it apple juice. And you're going, I drink apple juice because apples are great for you.
Exactly.
But when it comes down to it, they're not using the whole flower.
Exactly. And look, I think a big part of this is consumer education. The consumers want to get the best possible experience.
Yes.
And so for us, it's getting that message out that, look, make sure you know what's in your product. Make sure you know the extraction method. You know, get your money's worth. A lot of people don't know that in a $20 bag of gummies, there's probably 30 cents worth of distillate.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. We're putting almost
we're gonna start making our own gummies.
Yeah, and look, we're putting almost a full gram of flour in our bag, and I'm not charging any more, you know, so...
Repeat that part again and say it very crisp and clear.
Absolutely. We're putting almost a full gram of flour in all our gummies, and we're not charging any more. So you
That's
get a better quality
huge
product.
point. He's using the entire flour, not just a distillate from it, packing all of that goodness into a bag, opposed to 30 cents worth of distillate, and he's not charging you more. That's very good of you, sir.
Why wouldn't we?
Yes.
I mean, I want people to experience cannabis the best possible way, and that's why we do what we do.
And how long has Raw been around?
We were established in 2017 in Long Beach, California. Super proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that COVID affected everybody different ways, but how did COVID affect you negatively and positively? Because I think it affected the cannabis industry in generally kind of positively.
Absolutely. For us, it was a challenge. You know, we launched a capsule, which is a health and wellness product in an industry that, you know, it's less than 2% of sales in most shops. And so COVID actually hurt our business. So it gave me a lot to think about, and that's why we shifted and are launching the gummy. And we're also going to launch this as an ingredient to the mass market, so other manufacturers can actually infuse their products with cannabis.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
So you're going to be white labeling your, now what do you call it? Obviously, because it's not distillate, what is the formal name for your process, your powder?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're calling it raw activated powder, activated cannabis.
Straight to the point. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, trying to keep it as simple as possible. But yeah, we're going to start selling this to other companies in the market. So
when does that start?
Actually, right now, we launched at Hall of Flowers.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we're already working with a manufacturer that's making a marshmallow that's going to be green, of course, because of the chlorophyll.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, how fun. Oh, that's very cool. What about cotton candy? Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ice cream. We've done everything under the sun you can think of.
Now, what do you sweeten your gummies with?
Well, this, I will be honest, right now we're using sugar.
I'll be honest, I prefer that over stevia. You know what I mean? It's got to be honey, agave, it's like something natural, but don't give me that chemicals.
Yeah, the bigger challenge we're having is we launched with the gelatin gummy, and the market seems to want vegan, even though it's less than 2%. So we're trying to to juggle that. But more importantly, we have cannabis in our products, not a compound.
Right. So what is your favorite thing about the cannabis industry having gone from the legacy market to the business side of things, I should say, the legal business side of things? What's your favorite part about it, and what is the biggest downfall of going from legacy to legal market?
I think my favorite part is probably the innovation. God, look at all the ancillary businesses that are here that, God, I couldn't even buy capsules 10 years ago because we were a cannabis company.
Right.
So,
oh my gosh.
So I think that's great. I think some of the downfall for me is the regulatory compliance. This is a wonderful plant, and it's hard to be sustainable when you have to put layers and layers of packaging, so those things bother me. So I think those of us in the industry really need to get more involved and change some of these really absurd regulations. This plant's never hurt anybody, and it's overregulated. So
Absolutely.
We need to find a balance.
And especially, I think, when so many people in the cannabis industry, their head is really in health and wellness. So many people's heads are in health and wellness. Some are in a different place, and that's fine too. But when you have a health and wellness product, and then it's wrapped in all this bubble wrap and plastic and packaging, it's kind of going, it doesn't align with your brand. It doesn't align with the industry itself.
100%. And, we're trying to be as mindful as possible. And, look, we're filling our landfills with glass and plastic right now, Mylar, including myself.
Right.
So I think it's, also, those companies that are being sustainable and doing things right, putting incentives in place, for those companies as well, so.
All right, you're mayor of Cannabis Land now. I want you to have you, and you probably already have. I can see that you've already thought about this pretty well. If you were mayor of Cannabis Land, what would you put into place first? What law would you change, or what would you implement?
Accessibility. I think it's overtaxed and it's overcharged. And to me, this should be accessible to everybody. It doesn't matter your demographic. Somebody shouldn't be paying the kind of money for a plant.
Yeah.
This is something that can help a lot of people. So accessibility first.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. So where do you see the future of cannabis business going?
You know what, I see things staying somewhat complacent for the next couple years. But what I do see happening is states opening up that have legal infrastructure in place, so we can allow interstate commerce. California has 4 to 5 times the amount of flower that can be consumed. If we had a partner with Oregon or any of the surrounding states where we could send some of that flower to, imagine how beautiful that would be. It just helps the black market thrive, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So why do you think I should say the legacy market, why do you think the legacy market is still thriving while things are legal right now?
Personally, I think the regulators missed a huge opportunity to allow everybody a license opportunity. How do you make something legal and then ban it in 80% of the cities?
Absolutely.
That makes no sense from an infrastructure standpoint.
What do you think the motivation is behind doing that? Can you see their logic, or is it sort of a mystery amongst the industry?
I can't see any good reason. I think in part, it's politicians in their own cities making decisions for the people that have already voted on it. Because now you're seeing other cities open up because cannabis is now being delivered in your city, and the city next door to you is getting the tax benefits.
Right.
So it's changing though. So that's the good thing.
I want to go back to something that we spoke about off camera a minute ago, and I literally stopped him and I said, save it, because I want to hear about this on camera. You are, what do you know about breath strips, sir?
Oh, geez. So, long story short, my first bit in the cannabis industry was with a nutraceutical company. And at the time, we were doing butane extraction. I was in college in my early 20s, and we started infusing breast strips. Our biochemist developed a patent on that, and we were making them in Ogden, Utah, of all places. And there wasn't even a market here in the States at the time, even in California. So I shipped about 4,000 breast strips, dare I say that on camera, over to Amsterdam.
And for anybody watching, he's just kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, looking back, probably not the smartest thing to do, but you know, my passion back then is still the same today.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think there's something to be said about an industry that's been around for so long that people did, regardless of whether it was legal or illegal, not because they wanted to break the law, but because innately they knew in their gut there was nothing wrong with it. You know, I think that when you there's a point where you do something anyway because you don't personally find anything morally wrong with it. And I think that those same people are the ones that have fortunately followed into the legal market because they can finally have a voice and talk about it.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to quality of life. I mean, this is medicine and it helps people.
Absolutely.
Man, so it's pretty simple.
So what is your motivation in starting Raw now? Is it the medicinal side of things? Is it your love for formulation?
You know what? It's my love for... I'm competitive. So honestly, I like to be the best at what I do.
That's awesome. I have not heard that yet. Just because I like to be the best.
That's
awesome.
Obviously, getting a great product out, but more importantly, I mean, I think right now what we want to do is start licensing our IP in other states, and you know, working with companies that are vertically integrated that have genetics that now they can get, you know, pass through into consumable products.
Yeah.
You know, and what more of a wonderful thing than to walk into a dispensary and see a wall full of edibles that instead of being just different flavors, they're different genetics, different experiences. And so that's the future cool. that I see.
Very, very cool. So where can we find you?
Right now we're in California.
Nice.
So our bud gummies are actually launching. Our COAs are just actually finishing up tomorrow, which is crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we're launching an event on Saturday, Secret Sesh in downtown LA.
Oh, nice.
So Tim's a good friend, and they do fabulous events. So, we're launching
Shout
next
out to
week.
Tim. What's up, guys?
Yes, Tim at Secret Sesh. Thank you so much. Super excited.
Very, very cool. Okay, so what is your website? Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so our website is rawflower.com, raflower.com, and you can find us on Instagram at rawflowerbrands. Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
It was really such a pleasure having you. I love hearing a perspective from somebody who has the best intention and health and wellness behind their brand, and I just... hats off to you. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And when we're off camera, I'm going to go ahead and ask for some samples. Tim, thank you again.
That was okay.
So, all right, and all of you out there in NUGL land, thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next Friday and every Friday right here on NUGLmagazine.com. Bye, y'all.